Late former Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Mongameli Bobani, the UDM member, will be buried in Port Elizabeth today. He died in hospital from COVID-19 related complications last week. At the time of his death, Bobani served in the Metro's Mayoral Committee, MACO, as the Portfolio Committee Head for Electricity, Infrastructure and Engineering. Our colleague Kim Daniels joins us now to chat about what's going on down in Port Elizabeth. Kim, welcome to the agenda. Thank you indeed for joining us. The mood down in Port Elizabeth, polarizing figure was Mongameli Bobani, but well loved in particular within the UDM.
Good morning. It is quite a sad day in Nelson Mandela Bay today as we lay to rest a very charismatic political leader, in this metro. It is very early this morning, but his service only starts at 10. But so far we have seen supporters come out in T-shirts and with his face on it to show his support and their support and share the condolences with their family and their loved ones. As you know, Councillor Bobani had a very colourful political career. Started off at the UDM as a normal councillor, eventually got elected as deputy mayor, and eventually, with the Black Caucus, became mayor alongside the EFF and the ANC. They formed that Black Caucus to get the DA out of power in this metro. And later was ousted at the end of last year, December 2019. And then obviously, as you said, became head of electricity and infrastructure, that portfolio. We had spoken to many political leaders in this metro last week when we heard of his passing. The DA, who wasn't his biggest fan, as we all know, said although they didn't agree with him, they had to respect him as a leader and expect his views and opinions. EFF loved him and loved what they did for their party to gain, those extra votes, extra seats at council. And obviously the General Bantu Olomisa, very saddened by the news, as he was, a stalwart for the UDM in this metro. Our acting mayor right now, Tanoana Buyeye, he also mentioned that that Councillor Bobani was very passionate about his work. If there was a problem, he'd go out there immediately. He'd go out personally to hear what was happening in the community. But as you have mentioned, he did die of a COVID-related death. He fought hard for his life at a private hospital in Port Elizabeth on a ventilator, but obviously succumbed to the disease. Because it's a COVID funeral, all protocol will be observed. I had seen compliance officers here this morning early already. Only 100 people will be allowed in the Sphere Market Hall here in Port Elizabeth, and obviously supporters and bystanders will be outside to show their support and their love for Councillor Bobani.
Kim, his death came 3 weeks after he was admitted to the St. George's Hospital in Port Elizabeth, and as you say, people have been saying good things about Bobani, in particular the UDM. Let's speak about the General Bantu Olomisa saying we commend Councillor Bobani for the good work he did for the people of the Nelson Mandela Bay and his tireless efforts. He was always available to roll up his sleeves to work. Now let's for a moment put aside the effects of the scenes we've seen in council when all the infighting was going on. On the ground, what are people saying about the man that, as you said as well, a lot of people said he was never afraid to run up, always available to help when asked for?
Councillor Bobani was very loved in this metro. He was always quirky, always had a joke, and very, very passionate about his work. And obviously the people of the metro, especially the UDM supporters and those in the UDM, the party itself, are very, very saddened by his death, and it was a very untimely death. When we had heard he had corona, everyone was shocked. Everyone was quite sad, and when we heard he was admitted to hospital, that things were getting serious, that we were all quite shocked and we were all quite sad, the supporters especially, at this untimely death, because we had thought he'd be around for much longer.
The family, Kim, as we wrap it up, how have they taken it? Obviously a tough loss for them as well.
I didn't quite catch your last question, but yes, it has been a tough loss for the metro. And as I have said, all protocol will be observed at this COVID-19 funeral. Chances are his body wouldn't even be here. As we know how things go with COVID-related funerals, his family has been quite sad. They've also expressed their sadness across social media, rather the political heads, as I said before, and especially our acting mayor, who will all be present here today.
Kim Daniels, SABC News reporter, coming to us live from Port Elizabeth. Of course, that's the funeral of the former Nelson Mandela Bay mayor and UDM member Mongameli Bobani will be buried today. And I think, if I'm correct, we might dip in and out of that funeral if it starts whilst we are on air.